All right, here's the scoop. Very different kind of video today. We're actually going upstairs in a minute, but I have some updates. This video, a little bit lazy. It's not my vibe. I want to do retro game hunts, but I've just got back from Mamtor. Mamtor, if you're in kind of the Midlands area, it's a great mountain. In fact, I posted a picture for my members in the bacon and egg tier and above, but forget that. By the time you see this video, I would have already filmed in the largest retro game store in the United Kingdom. That is right. I'm going to Scotland on Monday. So here's what I need you to think. Just hear me out, okay? Just hear me out. Thursday will be episode 1. It's going to be a 3-part mini-series. I've got 3 episodes planned. Thursday, we're going to be in the biggest retro game store in the United Kingdom. We're going to do the full tour. We're going to do every little nook and cranny you can see. It's going to be amazing. So that's kind of that. Go and follow me on Instagram. This is point 2 because I'm going to vlog. I'm going to do little stories to kind of vlog the trip. I don't want to do like a vlog on YouTube. We'll just whack it all on We'll just whack it all on Instagram rather, not YouTube. So go and follow me on Instagram. Links in the description if you want to come and see the drive up, the hotel, kind of behind the scenes stuff. And then Thursday we'll get an absolute rip-roaring episode out for you. Now, I absolutely detest filming in the game room talking to the camera like this. It makes me cringe. I just don't like it anymore. I like to be out and about. So there is a bit of an update. We did an episode where we changed these to white shelves, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 Billy bookcases behind the camera that are still black. They're going to be changed to white. I am hoping that happens. Oh my God, just looking at it makes me feel sick, but it's happening. I'm going to be buying them this next week, so that's fine. I was going to paint them. I was going to buy them, then paint them. Now I'm going to buy them again because I just don't have time to paint them, okay? And that leaves us to today's episode.
I need a few seconds of your time to tell you about channel memberships. If you guys want to become a channel member, click join from the main page or the second link in the description. There are 3 tiers, all with different perks for you if you want to become a team member. Thanks for your time. Let's continue with the video.
Yes, indeed. Today's video, like I said, bear with, this is not my usual forte, but I can guarantee you're going to get some absolute bangers from this. It is entitled kind of what's next, and like I said, you know, going to Scotland is going to be whoa, whoa, beep, 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 a banger for me. But I just need to slow down for this, and I just need to sit down. I just thought, you know what, I'm going to show my people just some bits that I've been acquiring over the past frantic amount of retro game hunts we've been doing. As you guys know, we've been to America. We did a whole series. I think there's about 9 episodes in America. Go and watch it. And then we've started a new series called By the List. Now, I will say, I think going to Scotland and the biggest retro game store in the UK, it's going to be amazing. But I think we're going to complete the list, and if we do, we will just add to the list. It's going to be a rolling series. So I'm like, okay. But the episode we did at RetroSec was episode 2. And I did pick up quite a lot of stuff because I actually traded some stuff that I don't use anymore. So I didn't actually spend a great deal when I was down there. But please watch the episode because Ben talks about the Tetris Minuet. Now, this is not a Tetris Minuet. This is a Japanese copy of Tetris, but there was this very special Tetris release that actually had a slightly different Minuet soundtrack. And there's a way you can tell by looking at the very top ball of the points. You can't really see it, but I don't want to spoil it. If you go to the episode, right, please do, because you'll be missing out. Ben explains it perfectly. And this is really cool because it's out of Elliot's collection, Elliot Cole, aka Retro Future, which is really nice. He did a whole video of these where he just kind of like blind tested them. And speaking of, I think that's a really nice segue because this was also from his collection. This is a Japanese Game Boy Pocket in a protective case. Now, Ben also showed us this in the episode, which is, it's got a little crease over there, but it is very nice. And again, kind of don't want to show you too much on this video. I'll show you just what's inside here. Everything's in really nice condition. It's actually got a rip on the back of the box there. I didn't notice that. It's really nice. Go and check the episode for Retro Section. I think when you've watched this and you've seen all the good stuff I've picked up, it might just wet your palate a little bit. So this was a cool thing. This was the Parents Guide to Nintendo Games. I did a short on it. And it's just random little leaflets that Nintendo produced. Look, you could kind of call the games hotline, call Club Nintendo, technical service, with just some really nice artwork in it. So I actually love little bits like that. I think they really do kind of flower up my personal collection. So I love like getting little bits like that because I can do shorts on that. So that's cool. But I also did a short on Scorcher. So this was a game, Sega Saturn title, which is ironically a Scorcher, because this is a little bit like Wipeout, but you're in, they say on the back that you're in a bike. It doesn't feel like you're in a bike when you're playing it, but you're almost in this like cage, and it's very similar kind of music to Wipeout. It's a very similar fast pace to Wipeout. It's just very, very similar. So I think if you like your Wipeout and you like your racing games, go and check out Scorcher. Go and give this a look. Again, did a little short on that. Now, I say a couple, there's actually 3 games here, which, do excuse me, are a little bit random. Aside from Chase HQ, I've never played them. So we have Super Hunchback starring Quasimodo. I'll go through these quickly. Mega Lit, and of course the classic Chase HQ. Now this is a puzzle game, Mega Lit. Is if you look at the front cover, it looks like you're thinking this is going to be an RPG. This looks like a little bit like Link to the Past if you take a look at the back. But you have to like get all these blocks or these like slabs onto the floor. They're all piled up and you're this weird little kind of blob. I think you get morphed into this weird blob, and the blob has to push all of the blocks and get them on floor level. So it can be quite tricky, but you don't see it. And this was priced at 99 quid. Now if you go on eBay, this is going to be quite a lot more than 99 quid, especially boxed. In fact, you don't see it boxed. So I thought that was really special. Chase HQ is just a classic franchise, isn't it? I think we need a reboot. And that was only 30. And I think for me, that box art is just clinical. It looks really nice. And then I'd never played this, but looking at it, it was this kind of like really nice platform kind of game. I thought, you know what, let's do it, man. Let's do it because I can play it. I can play it on my Game Boy. I've got a really nice backlit Game Boy downstairs. Really nice, actually. I got it at OLL. So that's really cool. So part of, we'll show these next two together, part of my Buy the List challenge, half of the list are to buy the N64 Player's Choice. Now I believe there were 9 or 10 N64 Player's Choice game, and Ben had 2. F1 Grand Prix and Wave Race, both really nice games. And of course your Player's Choice have this horrible grey border around and that kind of grey slash down the back. They don't look like the most attractive boxes in the world, but they are, to have a full N64 Player's Choice kind of bit of the collection is quite nice. So I'm going for that and I'm doing really well. So if you're watching the series, I think we're going to complete this bit pretty quickly. Now I stream on Kick. Go and follow me on Kick. We have streamed some Need for Speed on Kick previously. And I think Carbon is the best in the series, my personal preference on the PlayStation 2. Get it on GameCube as well, it's a lot more expensive on the GameCube. So I picked up Need for Speed Carbon, which I've been after for quite some time. And this is in really nice condition. just like, I love the randomness. Look at this like EA leaflet, right? So it's not manual, but you've got your EA stuff, just advertising different games. Brilliant. Sims 2. God, I remember when Sims 2 came out, mate. I literally do remember when Sims 2 came out. I had it as well. I had it on the PS2. I really did enjoy that. I was at university at the time. And then a whole heap of crappy sports titles in the back, which, let's face it, EA dominated the sports caliber genre, whatever you want to call it, back in the day. So pretty cool. And then obviously we've got some Rayman. I'm just going to fly through these. Rayman. I've been after this for a while. Monster Truck Madness 64. I've never been able to score it for the right price, but it is incredible. It's so much fun. And of course it's that 4-player beauty. And check it, Rockstar branded. Yeah. So yeah, and then Metal Slug 4. Thought this would be a good one to stream. And I do love Rayman, the series Rayman. Go and watch Digital Foundry's comparison. I think it's Digital Foundry Retro. They compared all the original Rayman games, so on PS1, Sega Saturn, and Sega Saturn prevailed in terms of frame rate, visuals. They did this great breakdown. But since playing Rayman back on the PS1, I think the series has been great. And this looks fantastic on the GBA. So again, sat here kind of, you know, cringing doing this kind of video. Don't like it, don't expect it all the time. But that is your RetroSect pickups. So your RetroSect pickups. Now, of course, jumping over here, we've got some really nice stuff from Button Bashers. Button Bashers was the store that it was episode 1 in By the List, and actually went back and bought some additional games after the episode had finished. But we did get Mario Kart 64 on the Player's Choice. We did get Double Case Wipeout as well, but that's downstairs. That was a moment, finding that in that episode. That was amazing. Incredible moment. But we did pick this up. And 2 amazing condition flipping Super Famicom games. So Super Ghouls and Ghosts and Super Mario World. Now I need to hop on Etsy or eBay. In fact, let me ask you guys, where do you get your plastic protector cases from? This one came with one. Do you go to Etsy? Do you go to eBay? Where do you get them from? Go and chuck something in my Discord. We've got a Discord. Go and chuck it on the main Team 24 channel and let us know, eBay or Etsy, how much do you pay? What kind of quantities do you get? Because I do want to get some for the likes of Quake 2 and the likes of Glover, which didn't come with protective cases. So I do need to get them. So that was really cool. And then like a few days later, I reached out to Button Bashers. I'm like, you know what? I've checked since and I don't have these on N64. So Quake 2, of course, is that classic FPS that ran alongside Doom, was of course developed by id Software back in the 90s and still is like fan favourites across the freaking world. Quake 2, don't own it, lovely condition. A good entry to the first person shooter genre. Glover's just classic in it. I mean, this just, for me, the N64 era was just packed full of vibrant games such as Banjo-Kazooie, the likes of Glover. I mean, they just ooze Nintendo charm. And of course it wasn't developed by Nintendo, but still, I just feel like this for me just takes me back to a time when I lived with my grandmother, actually, at the back end, mid to late, it was, I guess 75% the way through the 90s in 1997, 1998, playing games like this, or seeing games like this, like Banjo-Kazooie, just unbelievable. And then of course, 2 absolute corkers here. We've got Killer Instinct Gold and Bomberman 64. Really gorgeous condition, and I found that that was the great thing about the games in Button Bashers, was just the condition of the games were unbelievable. Now Killer Instinct, when that came out on the Super Nintendo, I know this is N64, but this really pushed the limits, this back in the SNES. So when it came out on the N64, I was like supersonic excited, but I don't think it was as good as what it was on the Super Nintendo. But nonetheless, so somebody's just put it on here, it says Richards Sorry, Richard, it's now Gemma's, but I appreciate you. But yeah, so really, really cool. And Bomberman is just a classic. I used to pull all-nighters playing Bomberman on the PlayStation 1. This, of course, has that more kind of 3D effect, as did many cool games such as Mario 64. We've got lots of 3D goodness going on with the N64, but this isn't the best game in the series, but it's certainly kind of in keeping with the franchise. So that's why I wanted to pick it up. Then, of course, went to Barry's store last weekend, picked up 2 games on the challenge. We have 1080 snowboarding, which, you know, has since been glued. There was an issue with the box on this. Again, please watch the episode. I'm going to link the entire By the List episode playlist in the cards. So this was episode 3 and we got Mario 64. The box is a bit ragged. I think top end prices in super retro video games, so you can probably get them cheaper elsewhere, but just saying, it's down to you if you want them. You know, for me, I wanted these, so I picked them up. But people did notice a few things in that episode. And I want to talk to you about this game because I really did pay over the odds for this. This was priced at £100, but it goes on eBay sold listings for about 60, 70. So I probably did really kind of pay top end for this. But I told a great story. I'll tell it you now if you didn't watch the episode, even though it's going to spoil it. When I was little, I'd kind of seen this in this very old secondhand shop. When I say old, it was like you go in somebody's living room and it was very kind of, imagine a hoarder's house and you just navigate down these very small aisles of things that were just piled high, no rhyme or reason to any of it. My hometown. And I clocked this. It was like smushed in one of the shelves at the bottom. So I've clocked this. My friend Matt introduced me to this. He had an unboxed copy, so I was like, I want a boxed copy. And it was £10, £10. So £10 these days, probably looking at like $12, $13, just to put it into context. Counts a load of shrapnel one day, change, you know, no notes, just 50p's, 20p's, 5p's. I had £9.50. And I knew it was £9.50. I was like, maybe I'll give me 50p off. And I went in the store and we were like picking this out. And I was like, yeah, you know, I think that's right. And he's counting it. I'm thinking, I'm not getting this game. Nearly. And he let me have it for £9.50. And it was just such a prominent memory. Such a prominent memory of like I guess that was one of my like retro game hunting and feeling that kind of happiness when I came out the shop with my very own boxed copy of Super Probotector, which is known as Contra 3 in North America. And I don't own a boxed copy. I have an unboxed copy, which I'll be selling on my Facebook page. But I paid over the odds for it, but I kind of justified it as though I wanted it. Like I really did want it. So that's really, really cool. And that takes me back with Matt. In fact, I'll send him a picture of that later. I'll send him a picture of that. And then we got the second to last game here, Second Samurai. This is probably the best condition Sega Mega Drive box I have ever seen outside of bringing it right out of the shop. The sticker on the side is white as, there's no markings on it. You can't see it, but the plastic that covers the artwork is incredible. We have the little hang tag. It's got quite a lot of resistance on it. Usually they flap as if they're about to break. Inside, look at that manual. Look at that manual. The cartridge, incredible, incredible. I mean, everything about this just oozes impeccable collector's edition. So I thought, you know what? You don't see this round often. I'm taking a punt on Second Samurai. And then finally was the triple game of, we've got Mario Brothers, Tetris and Nintendo World Cup, which I did see the American version of this out on that playlist and didn't pick it up, and I walked away like regretting it. So I thought, you know what, there was 2 copies of this, so I took the better copy. I think these kind of budget kind of cartridges back in the day were fantastic. You know, for somebody like me back in the day, this was kind of gold because I didn't have much money, and you know, being able to get like 3 games in one cartridge was like unbelievable. And for me, Tetris on the NES, because you don't see it that often, especially boxed, it was predominantly like there on the Game Boy. It was a launch title. It helped to kind of solidify the Game Boy as we know it today. You don't see it on the NES, so I thought, you know what, let's go for it. I do have a boxed copy, and I think my tip for you is I would aim for a boxed copy on the NES. I think it's a great collector's piece, get a nice CIB condition, but this is also cool too. So please don't expect many videos where I'm just sat in front of a camera. I find it incredibly, like, for me personally as a creator, how do these videos feel as a viewer, actually? For those of you that are still cool enough to be here, shout out to you. And I'm speaking directly to people that give enough of a shit to stay through videos, especially boring ones like this. As a creator, I hate making these kinds of videos nowadays. Used to do a lot in the past. My mind has stepped away. I like to be out and about. I like the thrill of the hunt, but here we are. So please don't ever really expect any more of this kinds of stuff. I will be out and about doing the by the list stuff, going around amazing retro game places, and please follow me on Instagram if you want to see the kind of story. I will document the vlog and the journey and the behind the scenes stuff over on the Gebs24 Instagram. So please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. This is so discombobulated. Peace out. See you soon. Toodle pip. I'm off ski. Get behind the camera and hit stop. Ow, my bones are cracking.